Hello students, in this lecture I will go further or in next topic. In previous one I have asked one question, try to show that the product of two even signals or odd signals is even, and that the product of even and odd signal will be odd signal. So you have to prove it. Okay. Here let xt is the signal, that one is multiplied of two signal, multiplication of two signal here. The both signal x1 and x2, both x1t and x2t are even. I am taking here first of all both signals are even. Okay. So if both signals are even, then what will be the condition of even? x1t is equals to x1 of minus t. Similarly, x2t will be equal to x2 of minus t, because this is the condition for even function or even signal. Okay. So let's replace t with minus t, and here also minus t into x2 of minus t will be here. Okay. Now x1t is equals to what? x1 of minus t will be equal to x1t. Why? Because x1t is a even signal, and x2 of minus t will be x2 of t. So this is equal to xt. I have already considered what xt what is equals to what? xt is equals to x1t into x2t. So x1t into x2t will be xt. So using this we can hence product of even signals, product of two even signals is even. Okay. Now next try to show that product of two odd signal is even. So in this one I am creating something here. So both x1 and x2 are odd signal. Just I am taking here odd. Both one are odd. So what is the condition for odd? For odd, condition will be minus, and here also minus. Is that clear? So if both one is minus, then this one is equals to minus of x1 t, and here also minus of t. Now here sin xt will be there, because minus minus plus. Hence we can say here the product of two odd signal will be even. Okay. Now just change this pattern. Take one signal as even signal and other one as an odd signal. So not both here, just one signal. x1t is an even, and this one is an odd function. So this is even function. So I remove here minus, and this one is odd, so just keep it as it is. Now for even signal I remove this minus, then it will be minus of x2. So product of one even and one odd signal is odd. Clear? Now if xt is a complex signal, suppose xt is a complex signal, then what will happen? So in this case, conjugate even signal or conjugate symmetric signals are there. So conjugate even signal is what? Xt is equals to x conjugate of minus t, or in discrete time signal x of n will be equal to x conjugate of minus n. Conjugate antisymmetric signal or conjugate odd signals. So conjugate odd signal or antisymmetric signal, this one is xt is equals to minus of x conjugate of minus t, or in discrete time signal it will be x of n is equals to minus of x conjugate of minus n. Just take one example here, that here given xt is equals to e to the power j omega t, this one given. Then what will be the value of x of minus t? E to the power minus j omega t. Why? Because t replaced by minus t, and conjugate of x of minus t e to the power minus of minus j omega t, because for conjugate j replaced by minus j, and it will be xt equal to xt. So we can say here the xt given is a conjugate even signal. So conjugate even signal or conjugate odd signal, or we can say here the conjugate symmetric, x of conjugate symmetric, and this is for x of conjugate antisymmetric. Now take another example in discrete time signal. That one is xn given as this much, means x of 0 will be 1 plus 2j, x of 1 is equals to 4, x of minus 1 is equals to minus 4 minus of 5j. Okay, so x of minus n we have to find out, just reverse or mirror image along 0 position, so same will become, and conjugate, for conjugate j replaced by minus j. After that conjugate symmetric or conjugate antisymmetric. So conjugate symmetric, x of n plus x conjugate of minus n by 2, the formula is there. Now we can find out the value, or for conjugate antisymmetric we can find out the value. Okay, any problem? No. Now next slide, periodic and non-periodic signals. So if any signal is periodic with time period t, capital T, then we can write for periodic function it time period in continuous time signals will be capital T, and time period in discrete time signal will be capital N here. Is that clear? So x of t plus capital T will be xt, x of n plus capital N will be x of n, the same as a function. So if I add the time period, then I will get the same result as xt. Okay, so if I am taking x1t and x2t with two different time period t1 and t2 signals are there, and after adding I get one expression here, and if x1t here, x1t and x2t both are periodic, I have taken both are periodic with different time period. So x1 t will be x1 of t plus t1, that one equal to x1 of t plus m t1, where m is any integer, and x2 t will be similar like that, and here k is any different integer, means m is here suppose 1, then it may be k is equals to 2, 3, 4 or anything. Okay, so positive integer. Now xt become x1 of t plus mt1 plus x2 of t plus kt2. So just put the value of x1t and x2t in this expression and I will get this. Now if xt is periodic with time period capital T, so what? So capital T time period of this whole xt, then this one is equals to x1t plus mt1 plus x2t plus kt2. So for periodicity we must have these mt1 and kt2 should be equal to time period, because time period of these signals should be equal. So we must have mt1 is equals to kt2 is equals to t1 capital, which means m is t by t1 or k is t by t2. Okay, or t1 by t2 will be what? K by m. Which is integer, sorry, not integer, which is rational number, sorry, because this one is integer, this one is integer, so rational number. Okay, so from here I have seen one thing, that if two periodic signals are added, then we can find out the time period. We find out the time period of the signal, or fundamental time period is LCM of T1 and T2, and fundamental time period, that is T0, we can find out the LCM of T1, T2, and if any more functions will be there. Let's take an example here. Let's take an example for this. If xt given as 10 of sine 4 by 3t plus pi by 4 plus 20 cos of 8 by 5t plus pi by 6. So this is the condition here. T1 and T2 should be rational number. Ratio of T1 and T2 should be rational number. Okay. And how we can find out the individual M or K? So time period of that signal, overall time period of that signal divided by T1, individual time period signal. Okay. So here T1 we can find out T1, not this T1, it's capital T1. So capital T1 we can find out What will be the time period of sine? So 2 pi, and by this time pi by 4. No, omega. Sorry, 2 pi by omega. Time period will be 2 pi by omega. So it's a 4 by 3. Sorry, here 4 by 3 means it will comes 3 pi by 2. So not required to say that this one should be rational number. This one may be irrational number, no problem. And T2 for this section 2 pi by omega 8 by 5. So it will be 5 pi by 4. So T1, T2 we get separately. Now we have to check the ratio of T1, T2. So ratio of T1, T2 we have to check that 3 pi by 2 divided by 5 pi by 4 2, so 6 by 5. This is nothing but k by m, which is rational number. Check this. So now periodicity condition satisfied. Now what will be the fundamental time period? T naught. So for T naught, the LCM of T1 and T2 means 6 and 5. So 30. Okay. Now next in this one, okay, LCM of this multiply by T1, multiply by T1. So LCM of this multiply by T1, T1 is what? 5 pi by 4. T1 is, sorry, 3 pi by 2, not 5 by 2. It's a 3 pi by 2. So 15 × 45 pi. Now next I am going to discuss here the energy and power signal. Okay. Energy and power signal. So normal power if resistor is there and this one is voltage, okay, and the voltage across this resistor is Vt, and here It current passing through this, and this is total Vst. Then what will be the power across the resistor? Instantaneous power, that is power instantaneous will be what? Vt into It by R, or I square T into R. Sorry, not R. R what? This one should be I, no? So this one will be R, should not be there. Okay, I square T. And total energy and average power on per ohm basis is what? Total energy is nothing but from minus infinity to infinity, this I square T dt, joule. And power average is nothing but the limit of t tends to infinity 1 by t integrated from minus t by 2 to t by 2 I square t dt. This is what? Okay, so these two formulas are there for E and P. Now for any arbitrary time signal, the normalized energy contains E. That one will be what? So this one is the total power, total energy and average power. Now if I want to find out the normalized energy, that one is from minus infinity to infinity of xt signal, a square dt. Why? Because in previous one I have seen no I square dt, so it's a, in place of it, it's a normal, any signals, any continuous time signals are there, so x square dt. And power average, it will be limit of t tends to infinity 1 by t from minus t by 2 to t by 2 of x square t dt. Clear? More should be there because x square can't write directly. This is what? This is joule. For discrete time signal, this is for continuous time signal. This is for continuous time signal. For discrete time signal, E will be summation of n is equals to minus infinity to infinity x of n mod whole square. This is mod. And P value will be limit n tends to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1 summation of n is equals to minus n to capital plus n mod of x of n square. This one is for discrete time signal. Is that clear? This one is joules, this one is watt. Now some condition will be there. What condition will be there? The condition is xt or x of n is said to be energy signal. Is energy signal if and only if what? E will be finite. Finite means from 0 to infinity, and P will be equals to 0. So this is first condition. Second one, xt or x of n will be power signal. If P is finite and E is equals to infinity. And third one is xt or if and only if x of n is neither power nor energy signal. When E is equals to infinity or P is equals to infinity. So this condition, this property is very important. This property is very important because suppose we have a signal and we have to find out the signal is energy signal or power signal, or neither power nor energy signal. Then what we will do? Just check, just calculate the energy of the signal, and if energy of the signal will finite, then it's energy signal. But in that case, power should be 0. So if energy is finite, then power should be 0. If power is finite, then energy should be infinity. Just consider one thing. If energy is finite, energy has some value, then power will be 0. If the signal is energy finite, then power 0. Then that signal is said to as an energy signal. If power is finite, then energy will be infinity. It has some power, finite power. Suppose the things that has a finite power. So if anything has finite power, then energy of that signal or that thing will be infinity. So in that case, power signals will be there. And if both are infinity, then neither power nor energy signal. Okay. So from here I will try to solve some example based on this condition or property. So just take one example here. If xt given e to the power minus of at ut where a greater than 0. Then find out the energy of this signal. Energy will be from minus infinity to infinity x of t mod square dt. So from 0 to infinity e to the power minus 2at dt. Is that clear? Now the value of this one is 1 by 2a, which is less than infinity. Why? Because a greater than 0. So this one will be finite value. So if e is finite, a in between 0 to a, and no need to find out the power, because if energy finite then power 0. So this is what? Energy signal. Why? Because power formula is this. Just check the power formula here. So 1 by t is there. So if this term is finite, then 1 by t means 1 by infinity. It will be 0. And if this term is finite, means this term is constant, then this term will be infinity. Why? Because t multiplies with this term. Okay. So just don't be in doubt. Just clear all doubt and keep following and subscribe our channel and stay tuned with this. In next one, I will discuss the problem solving session related to this chapter. Problem solving based on signal system I will discuss. So up to here I have finished. Now problem solving based on signal system and GATE TS previous year question, that one discuss in next lecture. Okay, thank you.